Bum, bum, da 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 da, bum, bum, da. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the Roomies Digest. My name's Christine, and if you clicked on this video, you know that today we're going to be doing our Sci-fi September reading vlog. Okay, I'm very, very excited for this vlog because obviously it's going to be going on for the full month of September. It hopefully won't be too long, and if I want to add more books to it, I will. But essentially, I'm going to be reading 4 books for sure this September for Sci-fi September. Stunning. Anyway, last September, I basically just read a ton of sci-fi books because I wanted to get more into the genre, and that is what I'm doing with this vlog. Obviously, we're going to be starting things off with a couple of books that I mentioned in our TBR video. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, right? You've never seen these books before, I'm going to let you click that link up in the cards and you guys can watch that video. Get a more in-depth look at the books that we're going to be talking about in this vlog specifically. But to start off, we will have 2 novellas and 2 full-on books. The first 2 novellas are Binti. Stunning. Look at her. Oh my god. And All Systems Red by Martha Wells. It's about damn time. So I'm going to be definitely reading these 2 novellas, which I'm very, very excited for because they obviously start off some pretty iconic series in my opinion. Then I'm going to be getting to Winter's Orbit. This one I'm truly just trying to get to because the second book is coming out. And I've heard nothing but good things about this one. Okay, my good friend from Books Past Bedtime, Jess, she really loved this book and was like, oh my god, you need to read it immediately. And I'm like, when Jess is screaming about a relationship, I am also going to be screaming about it. Like, I already know that it's going to be iconic and crazy and I'm going to love it. So I cannot wait to get into this one. And then, last but not least, The Second Rebel. The Second Rebel! I'm so excited to get into this book, y'all. Like, I ate up The First Sister by Lyndon A. Lewis, which is obviously this book's, like, predecessor, the first book in this series. But essentially, the characters in the first book, I loved so much. I thought the plot was so good. Like, it had a nice little twist. And I cannot wait to see where this goes. Like, I think more people should be reading this, you know, little trilogy that's coming out. And I really just can't wait to get into it because I miss one of the characters and I want to make sure that they are okay. So I'm going to be getting into The Second Rebel, and like I said, if I get into any more sci-fis, I'll let you guys know. We'll talk about it here clearly, but yeah, that's the vibe, that's the video. And if you guys are noticing that it's a little more like vloggy looking, that's because I'm using a vlogging camera. Like, I literally can see myself in the little thing on the side, and it's kind of distracting. Like, I don't know how you guys do it because all I want to do is just like look and make sure that everything is okay. You know what I mean? Everything's lined up. Yeah, so that's the setup that we have going on here, and I'm going to be vlogging with a vlogging camera, basically just trying it out to see if we want to, you know, officially get one for the channel. So it's either that or we go cinema mode on the new iPhone. So to each their own. Anyway, so that's the tea, that's the vibe. Those are the books that I'm definitely going to be getting to this month, and we'll talk about them when we get to a fun stop. I have a feeling that I probably won't do 50% check-ins for these novellas. Like, I'll probably just read them and then let you guys know what I think. I have it on good authority that this one is very good on audio, so I think I am going to try and find the audio for All Systems Red, but I'm really excited because this will be my first Martha Wells. And Binti as well is iconic. It's a Hugo and Nebula Award winner. Binti, everybody. Anyway, all right, I'm going to stop talking. That's the intro to this vlog. So thank you so much for joining me. And if you guys are reading any sci-fi books this September, drop them down in the comments below and let me know because I always need good sci-fi recs. Okay, and that's it. That's the drama. I'll see you guys in the next clip. Okay, so it's been some days since my last check-in. I started off with Binti. This basically, like, I honestly didn't have any idea what this was about, which makes 0 sense because I said what it was about, but like I didn't get it. But basically, Binti has the opportunity of a lifetime to go to this super prestigious university on a different planet, and she is the first of her people to ever attend this university. On her way through the galaxy to get to this university, her ship gets attacked and chaos ensues. Okay, so that's the basic premise of this. I really loved this because this was definitely like, I don't want to say this was like first contact, like necessarily, because this wouldn't be the first time that these two people kind of have butt heads, but this was first contact in a sense of you actually get them talking to each other and they communicate with each other. So I really, really liked this one. I really loved kind of like the ways in which Binti took her culture from her like hometown, from her Earth, like from her country, I guess, because like she came from Earth, and used her culture in a way to like communicate with these people. And that's really all I can say without like saying too much. But I really thought that this was just so, obviously there's a reason why it's won a Hugo and a Nebula, right? Like this was so imaginative and original, and obviously I'm gonna continue with this series, like 5 out of 5 stars. And then of course the next book that I read was All Systems Red by Martha Wells. This got a 5-star too. This is the Murderbot Diaries, like #1 book. Like, why did I say #1 book? Book #1 in the series. But yeah, this was also another very original, very imaginative idea. It took me a little bit longer to get into this one because there was a lot of like explaining as far as like, I guess essentially I can just tell you. So if you haven't for some reason read this book, there is a murder bot who is basically like assigned to this exploration team. They're on like a planet and they are working to like, I actually don't even know what they were doing. I don't even know what they were doing on that planet. I think they were just trying to discover things. You know how scientists do. And so this murder bot essentially gets like caught in this kind of like web of chaos because they end up going to meet up with another team that's on the planet and they find the team dead. Whole entire team is dead. So then the murder bot, who is actually like a very good hacker, who is like really into their dramas, like who actually has a mind of its own, that murder bot gets kind of like sucked into all this drama that's going on with the humans because they are trying to keep all of the humans safe. Like that's their job. And so I just thought this was super original. Like obviously everybody loves this series for a reason. And the ending is really what got me on this one because it started like going to the end and I was like, what is gonna happen? Like what is going on with Murderbot right now? And so I think the ending kind of like sealed the deal on the 5 stars for me, but I did realize like as I was going through the book, like it increasingly got more interesting and like better and better. So yeah, I will be continuing with the rest of the Murderbot Diaries. So that's the tea on the 2 novellas that I've already completed for this vlog. I did want to mention I forgot a book when I like first started this vlog. I knew I was forgetting a book. I just didn't know what book I was forgetting when I was like giving off a list of all the books I want to read. It was Dawn by Octavia Butler. I'm just basically checking all the boxes for iconic sci-fi authors, sci-fi women. But yeah, so I am going to be reading Dawn by Octavia Butler. This is essentially like a human gets, I think like put into like a cryo sleep or something like that and wakes up like hundreds of years later. I believe there has been like a war in the time that she has been asleep and she gets woken up by the alien race. I'm pretty sure that Oankali. So she gets woken up by them and they kind of want to repopulate the world, I believe, with Lilith, who is our main character in this one. Yeah, okay, so she wakes up from a deep sleep. She finds herself aboard a vast spaceship haunted by confused memories of a nuclear war that ravaged the world. Does this sound like something that could happen? She discovers that she's being held by the Oankali, a seemingly benevolent alien race that intervened in the human race's extinction, rescuing the survivors from their ruined planet and placing them in a coma-like sleep for centuries. So it's been centuries since she has been awake. That would be really crazy. That would be like, wow, we're literally gonna skip from 2022 to 2522. Oh my god, what are they even gonna say? 2122? 2522. Can you believe it? Now the restored Earth is ready for inhabitants and the Oankali want Lilith to help awaken the rest of the survivors and rebuild humankind. But the Oankali have needs of their own and salvation comes at a price. Soon Lilith must choose how much of humanity she's willing to sacrifice for the future of her race. So this sounds really, really good. Also, look at that cover. Like, wow. She's seriously stunning. I can't even. I like know I say that all the time, but seriously, all of these books are gorgeous. These like new edition copies. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited because I always love a trope where like the person is asleep in like cryo sleep or whatever, in a coma in this case, and then they wake up like years later. Like I think there's a movie with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris, what is his name? Not Chris Evans, not Chris Pines, not Chris Rock. Chris. This is embarrassing for me. I have no idea. Anyway, the other Chris. I loved that movie that they were in. Plus the guy who was in Twilight that played Michael, I think. That's the other book that I'm going to be including in this vlog. But, plot twist everybody, the next book that I'm going to be reading for this vlog is going to be Winter's Orbit. I'm excited for this. I know that didn't sound like I was excited, but I got distracted by the front because obviously the cover is also stunning. Like, who do they think they are? Who do they think they are? Anyway, Mail, I think Marriage of Convenience and Space. Like, I'm truly ready for this. This was one of Jess's like favorite reads, I believe. I think she loved this one a lot. And so I'm very, very excited to get into it because I kind of want to read some love and space. Some Mail love and space. And you know, I love kings, emperors, love and all that jazz. So I'm gonna get to this one next. And that'll be the one that I actually do like a 50% check-in for, because obviously the novellas were very short. But I will let you guys know how it is because I know a lot of people are curious about this book. What's the quality like? Let's get into it. So yeah, that's it guys. That's the tea. Like, I think I say this every year when I pick up a sci-fi, but I truly forgot how much I enjoy this genre. And I feel like I just need to read more sci-fis. Like, I don't really think about it like any other time of the year except for September apparently. But yeah, I think that's what I'm learning is that I'm a sci-fi girly. Oh my God, I'm a sci-fi girly. Sherman, you want to say hey? He's purring. I promise. You are like a little heater, I love. And other than that, I mean, what more can I say other than this camera is like really giving right now? Like, you can see everything that's going on here while also giving that cinematic mode in the background. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm really liking this camera. Ooh! Okay. That's it. That's the check-in. Oh my God, you're so cute. It's really sickening to me. Oh, how are you so cute and I'm not? Anyway, okay, so there's one other thing I forgot to tell you guys. Like, this is so not important, but I'm definitely putting this b-roll into our like little vlog that we have here. But to get out of the heat for the heat wave, we did go to this like one really cool spot where we just hung out like the three roomies and got some work done and did like our nerdy computer time thing. So that's really the only other thing I wanted to say. And now we're gonna continue on with the vlog. Okay, so we have officially finished Winter's Orbit. Ooh, ooh, there she is. Beautiful, stunning, honestly one of the best like naked books I've ever seen, because this is the prettiest baby blue with this like fun fuchsia. But yeah, so I finished Winter's Orbit. It was a really cute time. I definitely think that this is a super digestible sci-fi, because I know a lot of people who don't read sci-fi a lot, they get a little overwhelmed with like the scientific terms or like, you know, the parts of a spaceship or like things like that. I am definitely one of those people, unfortunately. But I thought that this was really easy to understand and the plot was really, really good, like very engaging. I will say that my favorite part was probably the bear scene. So if you guys have read this book, you'll get there eventually. But yeah, essentially in this world, there are these things called like bears, but they're not actually bears. They're really like, I'm imagining like kimono dragons, like big, just kind of lizard things that come and attack people in the snow. But they're not like actually kimono dragons, because if they were, they'd be dead. They wouldn't be able to survive in the snow. Anyway, don't know how that works out, but that's what I was imagining. That was like my favorite scene. And of course there was like a forced proximity in this scene and also like a let me take care of you trope. So I was just living, because obviously I was here for the relationship, for the romance. And I will say there is a deeper kind of like emotional build for the characters, because there are some like what could be triggers if you are like triggered by abuse in any way. That's something you should probably look up before you read this book, which I wasn't really expecting. I kind of just thought this one character was like a quiet, like meek choice. And then I realized like quickly as I started getting more and more into the book that this is obviously the signs of someone who has been verbally and possibly physically abused. So anyway, it wasn't between the two main characters, which is all you really need to know. It's just like some stuff that one of the characters has to deal with from their past. So that was a nice surprise, I want to say, because I really wasn't expecting that. Really wasn't expecting that. But they are very, very, very cute. It's not like my ideal like couple. You know, like I thought they were cute, like they work well together and they had some like fun, spicy moments, like that is for sure. You know, are they my guys from the Charm Offensive? I don't think so. But it was still a really cute time, really, really fun. And I am excited to get into Ocean's Echo, which is the second book in this series, because I do want to see like kind of where this storyline like goes, because now that everything has ended, there's kind of like an open opportunity for some space traveling and like more worlds that we can visit and things like that. So I am really, really excited to get into that. But yeah, overall, very, very cute male sci-fi, YA. It was a fun time. It's a fun time. So moving on, as you can see, I've got my stack of TBR here. I think the next book that I'm going to be reading for Sci-Fi September is going to be Dawn. I think we are gonna get into Octavia Butler, and this will be a lot of fun because it's Octavia Butler. Okay, I'm really hoping that I don't get too addicted to this, because I do want to read the second Rebel as well, but I know if I really, really get into this, I'm gonna be reading book 2 and 3, which are right over there. Looking at them. I'm looking at them on my shelf. I'm hoping this is good, but I'm hoping it's not like I need to go right into the next one. Obviously, there are probably going to be some underlying plots, some underlying motivations from the aliens. Like, why would they keep her alive all this time? You know, I've already got questions. I'm like, why would they keep you alive? Why do they choose you? Like, what do we know about you, Lilith, my girl? Anyway, so those are my preliminary thoughts, but I think I'm gonna have a really good time with this. A lot of people on Instagram have told me that this is a good book and I should have already read it, which I know, but we're getting to it. So that's what I'm gonna read next, and I will check in with you guys periodically. But as far as my life goes, I'm gonna be going to take a COVID test because I'm gonna be working tomorrow and a bunch next week. I think I'm gonna be crazy and go try I think it's like the apple crisp oat milk macchiato from Starbucks. And the reason why I want to try it is because Stephanie from Stephanie Bookish had it the other day. I saw it on her Instagram, I think, or something. Like, I know she didn't text me a picture, but it looked so good. And I was honestly shocked because Stephanie doesn't drink coffee. If Stephanie's drinking it, then this must be the drink of the season, okay? The drink of the season. So I'm fully prepared to be obsessed, because apple pie, like, has nothing to do with Starbucks drinks, but like apple pie is like my favorite like fall dessert, like my favorite fall meal, really, if we could call it that. So I'm fully expecting to be obsessed with this, and I will report back to you guys if you guys should be trying this drink, because I'm really excited. So I am gonna go pick up one of those and then come back and do some like booktube work. So that's the tea. I will see you guys at the next check-in. Why didn't y'all tell me I didn't have my lipstick on? Christine. Okay, we're doing a little car check-in. I'm on my way to set. I have been working like a cuckoo bananas crazy person. I worked 17 hours yesterday. Yes, that's right, 17. The overtime is being good to me, Christine. Anyway, so I just wanted to check in on Miss Octavia Butler because I've been reading her on set. And really, like, I'm not that far into her because I haven't had a lot of time to read. It's been super busy but
I will say that from what I'm reading so far, I'm liking what I'm reading. And it's a very interesting concept because, like, the way that she has to get acclimated to these new aliens is basically how cats have to get acclimated to a new house. When you get a cat, you have to kind of like put them in a small space and get them accustomed to the space, and then gradually start like opening more and more of the house so that they can like get used to the smells, get used to you, and like that sort of a thing. And then like, you know, you let them sniff your hand, they get, you know, acclimated to your house or, you know, wherever you're like keeping the cat. And that's like low-key how I am seeing Lilith, and it's like really tripping me out a little bit because I'm just like, damn, because she already made a reference, or like, I guess kind of like a comparison of herself feeling like an animal in a cage. And I'm like, sister, you're not wrong, okay? You are not wrong. So it's just very interesting to me because of the way that like the aliens broke her down. Like they truly were like, you're gonna be in isolation until you start answering our questions. And then like once she answered like a few questions, they like gave her more and that sort of a thing. And it's just so interesting to me how humans, like in general, I think Octavia captured this really well, but like humans kind of have to have interaction, because if they don't, then they go crazy. You know what I mean? Like they just start going cuckoo bananas. So anyway, I have a lot of questions about like what's going on so far, but I'm assuming that these questions will get answered later. Like my main one is the Uncali basically said that they were like a traveler race, like a nomad race, and that their main purpose is to trade, Trade. And so that's interesting to me. I don't really understand that, and I know that Lilith didn't understand that because nothing more was really explained. But like from what I've gotten so far, the Uncali started on a home planet, and basically every like group of them, because they separate into groups, like different people do different things, or different beings do different things. Based on your group, that's like who goes to whatever planet and does whatever thing, right? So like this specific Uncali that's like with Lilith, they or he is supposed to go to Earth and like do whatever they do, trade on Earth or whatever. So that's interesting to me. Also, he already mentioned that like the trade that they do is like not recognizable, I guess, to humans. Like we wouldn't understand the concept. So that's also interesting. Another thing is that they like grow their ships. They grow this like whole entire place where not only they travel to other worlds in, but like they live in them and they are provided for by them. So that's interesting to me too, because I'm just kind of like, where does the ship go when you go to Earth? You know what I mean? Maybe I missed that part. Anyway, so I just have a lot of questions, and I know that she's not going to get them answered because they won't answer questions. They won't answer anything. She doesn't. She has no leverage. She has no like bargaining chips right now in this point, like at the part that I'm at in the book. She's still literally getting acclimated. But yeah, I just want to check in and talk about that because I thought it was so interesting that when she had her space opened, because she was basically in the tree, which was like the holding cell. When she had that space open, she like almost didn't want to go out of it because everything outside of the tree was so new and just like foreign to her. And I was like, damn if that ain't a cat. Damn if that ain't a cat, okay? So yeah, that's what's going on right now. Like I said, more questions than answers, but I'm gonna be continuing on and reading more today, hopefully. We've had such a busy day the past like 4 days. I'm just kind of like, I'm like on 5 hours of sleep per day, which is not good for Christine. Like she needs a nice 8 hours to look beautiful and just be a normal person. So that's where we're at. We'll see if I get a lot read today, but if not, I'll check in with you guys later, and I'll try and get you guys some cute clips of set, even though I can't really do too much because this is an Apple TV show. So obviously if I give anything away or take any pictures of like actual important stuff, then I'll get in trouble. But I'll try and get you guys some cute aesthetics, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe some like shots of the toilets. You know, that seems to be a good brand for me. Anyway, all right, I gotta go because I'm about to get off on my exit, but hope you guys enjoyed that. I will see you guys in a little. Let's go. Right, here we go now. Batman scoop on the mic, mix in the mix on the wheels of steel. This is what I was fucking born to do. Next, let's go. Sick and twisted chain of events. My mother is in town randomly for a conference, and so that's what's going to be at the end of this vlog. Like, such a fun time, and that's the check-in. It's always a fun time. If you guys watched my you know, Kindle Unlimited vlog over summer, you know Lee Severn is a good time, so hopefully we'll get some fun b-roll of that, some fun Lee-isms, as I like to call them. But yeah, so that's the life check-in. The book check-in, though, is that I'm halfway through Dawn by Octavia Butler, and I'm loving this book. I think it is incredibly original. Obviously, there's a reason why it's won awards. I think probably the most interesting part of this book so far for me is the fact that the way that Lilith is being treated by these extraterrestrials, by these aliens, it's similar to kind of like adjusting a cat to a new home. That concept, like, as soon as Octavia Butler like talked about that in the book, it stuck with me, and like it has been sticking with me this whole entire time, because that's essentially like how these humans are being treated. They're being treated like pets, or kind of like as an experiment, kind of like as what we would call less than human, which to the Uncolly that doesn't really mean much because they're not humans anyway. But I think this book does such a great job of kind of like, I guess, like the alien aspect, just having like these non-gendered aliens as well as like male and female, and having them being so different that it's almost like incomprehensible to a human to even like fathom like what these beings are like, and like what their capabilities are, and what they can ultimately like do. I think this is such a strong beginning for a book, and it sounds like I'm literally finished with it, but I'm not. I'm only halfway. But I think the way this is going, it's going to be so interesting to read the rest of the books, because right now there's still, I say they, Lilith is still on the ship, so she hasn't even like done what she needs to do to like get down to Earth. And I just think this is going to be so interesting to kind of like see how the rest of these books go. But I'm really enjoying it. And of course Lilith, like, as we know in the premise, she's like the human that's going to be teaching other humans about the Uncolly. And without giving too much away, of course, we know that she's kind of like, you know, being used by them for like ulterior motives. And I'm just kind of like loving the fact that like she got thrown into this, and she's such a strong main character, and she has to deal with this and kind of figure out how she wants to make the situation more advantageous to humans, how she wants to like ultimately help humans and like escape. But she knows currently, like right now, she has to do what she has to do to like get to that point. And yeah, I'm just really liking it. I like kind of, I would call it almost like a survivalist type of story, because she is trying to survive up into a point where she can be free. So I'm liking that, and I'm liking learning about the Uncolly, even though we don't know much. Like, it's kind of confusing in the first bit, like I get that, and we're not meant to know much because Lilith doesn't know much. So it is what it is, but it's very interesting kind of seeing the relationship between her and like the main alien that she comes into contact with. And it will be interesting to see kind of how that relationship, how it changes her decisions, or perhaps like solidifies her decisions later on. Like, will she eventually try and escape this alien? Will she eventually try and kill this alien? Or will she kind of develop so much of an attachment in their relationship that like she almost feels like she's going to betray them? You know what I mean? And then she has this question of like, do I, you know, turn on this alien, or do I turn on the whole entire human race, like everyone that's left from Earth? And so I think these are great questions. Like, these are very interesting concepts. So I cannot wait to finish this first one. And I kind of want to roll right into the second ones, into the next ones. So we'll see how it goes. But like I said, like, this is such a good book. And of course, you know, the copy is so beautiful. But yeah, that's the check-in. That's the 50% check-in. So that's it. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hello, my beautiful party people. Okay, so it's time for the wrap up of this video because it is the end of the month, and I just want to quickly go over just
a roundabout wrap up, but first I will talk about Dawn by Octavia Butler. My like final thoughts with this book, I really loved it. 5 stars. The ending, I'm like, how do y'all even handle that? Because that was, I never expected that. And I don't know why I didn't. It's such a simple plot. Like this whole entire book is such a simple concept, but I think Octavia Butler took something that is so just like digestible and very like easy to understand and like made it into this kind of like timeless concept, revealing a lot about human nature and just kind of how we are as humans, obviously human nature. And I'm not gonna lie, it turned real Lord of the Flies at the end of there, okay? Like, I don't know, it was giving Yellow Jackets, if y'all have seen that show. Like, I was just kind of like, why are humans the way they are? Remains to be seen. I mean, just awful in general. But anyway, so yeah, that is the end of this book. It was just so freaking good, y'all. If you haven't read this, I highly recommend. Highly recommend. Like, I feel like I learned a lot. And from what? You know what I mean? I'm just like, what is gonna happen in the next couple of books? Like, it's literally gonna blow my mind. So this is a 5 star, like, duh. And also just like, dang that stuff happened. Like, that really hit me in the heart. I was like, okay, whatever. I guess I might have to detach from every character ever, because I really just cannot take it. I cannot take it anymore. So anyway, that's my final thoughts on Dawn. Okay, 5 stars. So just a quick run through of the books that I did get to in this vlog. Binti by Nidhi Okorafor. The thing with this one is, this one reminded me of Dawn. Like, when I went back and thought about this plot, I was like, this is very similar to, and obviously like sci-fi's, you know, with fantasy, like they all kind of like have the same plot sometimes, but like this one was very similar. So I think if you like Dawn, or if you like Binti, like vice versa, read the other book. So Binti and Dawn, definitely. But yeah, 5 stars for this one. Can't wait to continue with this series because I just like also love the covers of these books. Martha Wells, All Systems Red. Like, this one was also the end. I was like, what's gonna happen? Like, I could never I really thought it was gonna go different, but it didn't, and that's what surprised me. So people love this series. I will be continuing with it. 5 stars, Miss Martha Wells. I cannot wait to get into her fantasy, y'all. Like, it's really, I'm just gonna ascend when I get into her fantasy. The next one, Wizard's Orbit, I ended up giving it a 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one, but I did like make this mistake of thinking that it was a YA pretty much like the whole time I was reading it, which doesn't make sense because it was literally about almost 30-year-olds, but it's just kind of like the way that it was written. So I think kind of having that in your brain when you're reading it and just being aware of that, but also enjoying it for what it is, like a little cinnamon roll, easy sci-fi. You know what I mean? A little bit of politics in there. Very interesting. Can't wait to see where their relationship goes in the next one. Very cute, 4 stars. And then of course, Dawn by Octavia Butler, which I just talked about, but that was a 5-star read. And like I said, if you like this book, read Binti. If you liked Binti, read this book. Okay, very similar plots, if that makes sense. Kind of like the first contact with another, not race, I guess, but like with another being, like with aliens, that sort of a thing. That's what it is. The book that I did not get to that I really wanted to, Second Rebel by Lyndon A. Lewis. And I think what I'm going to do for that one is, because the 3rd book is coming out literally next month, I think I might just do like a little vlog for it and read those 2 books. So that's that, because I remember loving First Sister. Like, highly recommend if you guys are looking for a new sci-fi, look up The First Sister by Lyndon A. Lewis. I remember loving that book so much, and I just want to like continue and see if the other ones are just as good. Like, I'm hoping that they are, but that's what I think I'm going to do with that one. So these are the 4 that I got through for Sci-Fi September. And I think, as I kind of said in the beginning of this vlog, every time I come around to Sci-Fi September, I always really enjoy the sci-fi books. Like, all of these are 4 and 5 stars. Like, granted, half of them are Hugo and Nebula award-winning novels. But yeah, I always really like sci-fi, so I think one of my goals for next year is going to be to read more sci-fi. So my, I guess, favor that I can ask you is if you guys have a sci-fi that you really like, and it doesn't have to be like mainstream, it can be like literally something that's really old, something, you know, that you read once and you were like, wow, that really stuck with me, like any of that, just drop it down below and let me know, because I would love some recommendations to build my like sci-fi list, because I think that is something that I'm going to be focusing on in 2023, because I really do like them. It's as simple as that. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much the end of this vlog. Thank you guys so much for, you know, joining me on this journey. I know there wasn't a lot of b-roll of like me with my mom or like me really doing anything with anybody. I kind of just like enjoyed my life this month. You guys get it, which isn't, you know, too exciting for you, but I had a fun time. You know, in the grand scheme of things, it was a good month. is a good reading month. If you guys like this video, give it a like for me. Comment down below, like I said, for the recs. If you guys have any, make sure to subscribe if you want to support me and Monique on this channel, because it really does help out our channel and it lets us know that you guys are actually interested in the content that we're putting out there. And then also, if you don't want to miss another video from us, because I know they're random and they come out randomly, you can click that notification bell and it will let you know every time we post. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. If you guys are interested in our Discord and you want to connect with us in any other way, I've got a lot of links down below. You guys can check those out. We have a planned travel trip with Tova that we are planning on doing. So if you guys are interested in traveling with me and Monique in another country, you guys can check out that survey link down below. I think so far, like, the two places that are in the lead are either London, England, or Greece. So those are really exciting. I've been to London before. It was fun. I feel like it'd be a really fun bookish trip for us if we like all wanted to go. But also, I've never been to Greece, and like my dad used to live in Athens, so I feel like that would just like really cure my soul if we went there. So I'm very, very excited. Those are the links. That's everything that I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.